I've recommended exploring the world of Red Dead Redemption 2 so many times by now that I thought I should probably give you a reason as to why you should take the time to do so in this amazing game. So today I want to take a look at 5 of the creepiest or just most interesting locations in the game. Now please bear in mind I am still on chapter 1. I've played over 30 hours of this game, but I spent all of my time exploring and interacting with strangers, so there is a chance that some of these mysterious locations are explained in the story at some point. But if you're like me and haven't touched the story missions, these places are very interesting. And I mean, let's face it, Rockstar only release like one game every 8 years or so, I tried to make them last. Oh, and only one of these locations counts as a spoiler, and it's a very small spoiler with no real impact on the main plot, but as always, watch at your own risk. Anyway, with the warnings out of the way, let's get started. So first up, I want to take a look at this location. Here you can find the town of Pleasance, a small settlement with a few houses and a church. What makes this location so interesting is the fact that nobody lives here, and I do mean nobody. All of the buildings are boarded up, and a lot of them have messages on them which seem to point to some sort of plague as the problem. The trouble is, the gravestones in the town don't mention anyone dying of a plague. In fact, the majority of them strangely point to everyone in the town being stabbed or shot. Now of course it's highly possible that the residents of Pleasance were sick with a plague and were killed to prevent the plague from spreading. But after exploring the town, I couldn't find any real evidence of a plague. I climbed all of the buildings looking for alternate entrances and tried every door, but I had no luck. There is one building at this location which can be explored and doesn't seem to be in bad shape, but again no luck when it comes to finding out exactly what happened here. I may learn more of the story of Pleasance the more I progress through the game, but for now it's definitely one of the more interesting locations in Red Dead 2. So this next location was the inspiration for this video. I have been intrigued by the ghost at the Bayou Swamp since I first stumbled across her here. I thought that she had something to do with the Night Folk. For more on those guys, check the top link in the description. But when I learned that the Night Folk didn't speak, I was even more confused. So I set up camp in the swamp and went back to the same location every night to see if I could find the source of the voice. And that's when I saw this.
Get out of my way! Daddy! Daddy, listen to him! Take your hands off of him!
Now it turns out the ghost appears 16 different times and has a unique dialogue for each visit. Sometimes she will be visible and sometimes she won't. You will also only be able to hear these lines every 48 in-game hours. Also, if you get close to the ghost, she'll disappear and her voice lines will stop, so if you hear her, stand still. So I won't put all of the ghost clips in this video, but if you want a full rundown then check out the second link in the description, but there are a couple that I did want to share. The first of which is this one.
You love me! Really, I know you do. Come back to me.
Why did she appear next to me? The other one is the final encounter you have with the ghost.
Hey, stranger. I know you've been watching me. Come, meet me in the swamp by our tree. Come to our tree. I'll be waiting. I love you.
This last encounter also spawns a flower below where the lady was hanging. Judging by the voice clips, it's pretty clear what happened. The ghost was in love with a man who her parents didn't approve of. One of the voice lines in particular seems to suggest that they were right not to trust him, and her dad even went as far as to get his gun and kill the man. I also think that she was emotionally abused by her parents, and all of this resulted in the lady taking her own life. Now, when researching online, I keep seeing the name Agnes Dowd mentioned when discussing the ghost, but I haven't seen anything that mentions her name in game. But as I said, I am only on chapter 1, so whether we find out exactly what happened remains to be seen, but I think we can all agree that this one is actually pretty sad. Moving on from something pretty sad to something that is just downright weird. At this location you can find the Aberdeen pig farm. First impressions aren't bad, a quaint little place with a really friendly gentleman outside greeting you.
Don't be shy, partner. No such thing as a stranger here. Yeah, You look like you need to take a load off.
Well, ain't this a rare treat? Why didn't you tell me we had guests coming? I'd have fixed myself up nice.
Oh, now you know you look perfect, princess.
I ain't no guest, miss. I'm just passing through.
Oh, nonsense. Well, come on in. Rest a while. And we got food on the stove and a bottle of the good stuff we've been saving.
It's decided then. I'm gonna go freshen up.
I appreciate the offer, but I best be on my way.
Oh, come on now. How you gonna turn down a hot meal and good company? I'll go open that bottle.
Okay, so they are a bit persistent, but perhaps they are just being really friendly. So head on in and take a load off. After an awkward run-in with the lady of the house, you can take a seat at the table where Arthur learns of the couple's actual relationship. He pulls one of the best faces in video games ever.
He's so tender. You know what? This place used to be a pig farm when we was kids. Before we lost our ma and pa. Horrible business.
Horrible.
But we still got each other, ain't that right, honey pie?
And we still know how to have a hog killing time.
Here, that's for you.
Yeah.
There.
Where are my manners? Drinks.
So it turns out the couple are actually brother and sister, as well as husband and wife. Now if this was me, I would be out of there sharpish, but for research purposes I decided to stay. So they offer you a drink which makes you feel a little strange. Now the cool thing is, you can still leave. Just get up and walk away.
I appreciate the hospitality, folks, but I best be on my way.
No, already? I thought we was gonna have some fun together. Oh.
But who can resist free alcohol at a pig farm in the middle of nowhere served by a very close brother and sister? So we sit back down and drink again.
Oh, about time. Now take whatever cat she has on her and put it behind Mama.
Down, boy.
Next thing we know, we wake up in what appears to be a mass grave with our money gone. So we head back to the pig farm, machete in hand, and take our money back. These are the sort of encounters I love in this game. Completely missable, can be ignored when stumbled upon, and can even be missed after initiating the event. Man, this game is so good. This next location is one that I covered in part 2 of my coverage of all of the Easter eggs in Red Dead 2, but it left me with a lot of questions. At this location you can find this. So initially I was left wondering whose face was being carved, who was this man, and why did he hang himself? Well, the smart people in the comments section on that video pointed out that you can usually shoot down hanging bodies and that perhaps this hanging body contains some sort of explanation. So that's what I did. I went back and shot the body down and found this note. So from the note it appears that the man was a sculptor who wanted to carve the face of the woman he loved into the side of a mountain. But, as the note says, art moves slowly and the heart moves very quickly, and the love of his life left him for somebody else, more specifically a French painter. Heartbroken, the sculptor hung himself next to his work. This one got me thinking, what if this was a Rockstar employee's way of describing their own situation? Spent years working on Red Dead 2, neglected family and loved ones, and in the end lost a person they cared about. Next time, just stick to flowers and chocolates. Finally, let's take a look at the mutant house. At this location you can find an abandoned house with a creepy surprise inside. If you read all the notes in this room, you find out that this creature is a mixture of human and animal parts. Also, one note suggests that this is ready for surgery. My money is on this creature being featured in some sort of DLC at some point, perhaps an Undead Nightmares style DLC. It is very creepy though. Can you imagine if one day Rockstar updated the game without telling anybody and made it so this came to life? You're just walking in the woods and you see this thing running at you? Yeah, no thanks. Looking around the area, there is no way of knowing who is actually responsible for this abomination, so perhaps that is the next step. Find out who created it, and then ask what the hell was he thinking. So that's it for today. I hope you did enjoy the video. If you did, then a like is really appreciated. If you're a fan of Easter eggs, details and secrets in games, then perhaps consider subscribing and turning notifications on so you don't miss an upload. Thank you all for watching, and I'll speak to you all soon.